In the summer of 1914, the German Empire stood in a precarious position, encircled in Europe, tied to a fragile alliance with Austria-Hungary, and facing two great enemies, France to the west and Russia to the east. Enter the German General Staff, the High Command, a body confident in its efficiency, its training, and its doctrines. A belief stood: a short, decisive war was possible and necessary. The plan: strike fast, win early, negotiate from strength. The guiding strategy: the famed Schlieffen Plan. Designed in the early 1900s by Alfred von Schlieffen, refined by his successors, it called for the German army to throw the bulk of its force westwards, through neutral Belgium, outflank the French defenses, crush France, and then pivot east to face Russia. The assumptions were bold. Russia would take time to mobilize. France could be surprised. Britain might sit it out. Germany's railway network and mobilization timetable gave a chance. The High Command believed that German virtues, discipline, training, leadership, would carry the day. In August 1914, the plan was put into action. Troops poured through Belgium. The High Command watched from its headquarters, issuing orders, expecting victory in weeks. Yet from the beginning, trouble mounted. The Germans underestimated the fortresses of Belgium. They underestimated the will of the defenders. They underestimated the time Russia would take. But Russia also mobilized better than expected. Communication problems, logistical strains, politics, and personalities got in the way. At the same time, the German High Command faced pressure from the Kaiser, from political leadership, and from public expectation. A war of attrition was not the plan, yet the war was heading that way. The once confident clocks began ticking ominously. By late 1914 on the Western Front, the German armies found themselves stalled in trenches, facing a war they had tried to avoid. As the years passed, the High Command's confidence slipped. By 1916, under leaders like Erich von Falkenhayn and later Paul von Hindenburg with Erich Ludendorff, Germany's strategy moved from quick victory to grinding attrition. In the East, Germany achieved successes, defeating Russia, forcing it to pull out of the war in 1917. But in the West, the blockade, manpower exhaustion, material shortages, and America's entry into the war loomed. The High Command knew time was running out. In March 1918, the High Command made its last big bet. Operation Michael, part of the larger spring offensives, was launched to break the Allied lines, drive the British back, split the British and French armies, force a favorable peace before American manpower could fully arrive. For a moment, success seemed possible. German stormtrooper tactics, infiltration, artillery innovations, they broke through. But the gamble carried risks. Supply lines stretched, units outran support, reserves were worn thin. The Allies held. The chance slipped. By late 1918, the German High Command's desperation became evident. The home front was faltering. The blockade strangled industry. Morale frayed. Leadership faltered. And on November 11, 1918, the armistice was signed. The High Command had gambled on strategy, on speed, on decisive battle. And yet the war had become one of attrition. The irony: their greatest plan, designed for a quick war, had turned into a long war they could not sustain. The story of the German High Command is not just one of generals and maps and orders. It's a human tale of ambition, hubris, innovation, and collapse. It shows how strategy cannot ignore politics, industry, morale, and time. It shows how even the most prepared army can falter when reality refuses to align with expectation.